A brutal impact. A player in a coma. No punishment. It was the 1982 World Cup semi-final when Harald Schumacher committed one of the most violent assaults in football history. The German goalkeeper jumped in with full force and struck Patrick Battiston in the face, knocking him unconscious. The Frenchman lost 2 teeth, fractured his ribs, and suffered a severe spinal injury. The referee? He didn't call a foul, didn't give a card, just a goal kick for Germany. But that wasn't the only outrageous refereeing mistake. Today, you are gonna see some of football's biggest scandals, like a player who received 3 yellow cards in the same match, 2 goals mysteriously disallowed in a World Cup, and a referee who was arrested after making 30 mistakes in a single game. And we start with one of the most shocking blunders ever made by a referee. England versus Germany, round of 16, World Cup 2010. Germany was leading 2-1 when Frank Lampard unleashed an unbelievable shot. The ball smashed off the crossbar, bounced on the ground, and did it go in? The ball had clearly crossed the line, but the referee waved play on, a mistake that changed the course of the match. It was a heavyweight clash, and England was pushing to equalize. In the 38th minute, Lampard fired a powerful strike from outside the box. The ball crashed off the bar, bounced well inside the goal, and came back into play. The English players started celebrating. The fans went wild, but referee Jorge Larionda let the game continue. Millions of viewers saw the ball cross the line, but the linesman ignored it, cementing this moment as one of the biggest refereeing scandals in World Cup history. England was eliminated, but the error was so outrageous that it forced FIFA to finally introduce goal line technology to prevent anything like it from happening again. Refereeing mistakes in football are nothing new, but some go beyond acceptable limits. Did you know that a well-known referee actually ended up behind bars? Hold on, we'll get to that. But first, let's revisit a match that perfectly defines the word robbery. Spain went into the quarterfinals against South Korea as favorites, but they were eliminated in a game where the referees disallowed 2 legitimate goals and constantly called non-existent offsides. The first controversial moment came when Helguera scored a header. But the linesman raised his flag for no apparent reason. Later, Morientes found the net. But the referee claimed the ball had gone out before the cross. Replays showed it hadn't. Despite dominating the match, Spain couldn't get past the refereeing wall and lost on penalties. After the game, players and coaching staff accused FIFA of rigging the tournament in favor of the hosts. To make matters worse, Egyptian referee Gamal Al Gandour never officiated an international match again. Mistake or blatant favoritism? To this day, this match remains one of the biggest scandals in World Cup history. But don't think these shocking mistakes are a thing of the past. Even with VAR and all the technology available, refereeing errors still decide matches. And that's exactly what happened in the quarterfinals of Euro 2024, in the clash between Germany and Spain. In the 106th minute, Germany could have been awarded a crucial penalty, but the officials simply ignored the incident. The game was tied 1-1 in extra time when Marc Cucurella blocked a shot from Musiala with his arm inside the box. The replays clearly showed the handball, yet neither referee Anthony Taylor nor VAR gave the penalty. Then, in the 119th minute, Mikel Merino scored for Spain, sealing their place in the semi-finals and knocking Germany out. The outrage was immediate, and the German Football Federation demanded explanations. More than 2 months later, UEFA finally admitted that a mistake had been made and that a penalty should have been awarded. But by then, nothing could be done. The Euro 2024 error cost a place in the semi-finals. But in 2010, a similar decision changed the fate of an entire World Cup. Cup. Few things infuriate football fans more than a goal scored with a hand and allowed by the referee. And that's exactly what happened to Ireland in the 2010 World Cup qualifiers. Thierry Henry controlled the ball twice with his arm before setting up France's winning goal. The decisive playoff match was in extra time, when Henry, inside the box, handled the ball twice before passing to Gallas, who scored. That goal sent France to the World Cup and shattered Ireland's dreams. The outrage was immediate. Players, fans, and the Irish Football Association demanded a replay, arguing that the refereeing had destroyed any chance of a fair result. Even the Irish Prime Minister at the time, Brian Cowen, called for the match to be annulled. FIFA ignored the appeals, and the situation became even more embarrassing when its president, Sepp Blatter, revealed that Ireland had requested to be included in the World Cup as the 33rd team. In the end, France went to the tournament, but crashed out in the group stage, earning just a single point. What happens when a player spits on his opponent, pulls his hair, and still gets away with it? That's exactly what happened in the infamous clash between Germany and the Netherlands in the round of 16 of the 1990 World Cup. Frank Rijkaard attacked Rudi Völler twice, all in front of Argentine referee Juan Carlos Lustau. What happened next was unbelievable. The referee completely ignored Rijkaard's aggression and, minutes later, decided to send off both players with no clear explanation. Völler, in disbelief, protested, but it made no difference. As he walked off the pitch, Rijkaard spat at Völler again, creating one of the most disgraceful scenes in World Cup history. Even without their main striker, Germany won 2-1 and went on to lift the trophy. But Lustau never explained his decision. But wrongly sending off a player isn't the only bizarre mistake a referee can make. Sometimes they just forget the rules. That's exactly what happened in the 2006 World Cup when Josip Šimunić received 3 yellow cards before finally being sent off. This bizarre episode took place in the group stage match between Croatia and Australia. In the 61st minute, Šimunić picked up his first yellow card. Then, in the 90th minute, he committed another hard foul and was booked again. He should have been sent off, but referee Graham Poll forgot to show the red card. The Croatian defender stayed on the pitch and, just minutes later, complained to the referee, who gave him a 3rd yellow card before finally sending him off. The mistake was so embarrassing that Poll never officiated another World Cup match. But was it just a simple blunder, or one of the most humiliating refereeing errors in football history? When a team complains about refereeing, there's usually a debate. But in this match, even rival fans agree it was a scandal. Chelsea faced Barcelona in the second leg of the Champions League semi-final and had 4 clear penalties ignored by Norwegian referee Tom Henning Øvrebø. The most blatant incidents: a clear handball by Piqué and a blatant foul on Drogba inside the box. Then, in stoppage time, Iniesta scored a dramatic equalizer. It's Iniesta! Sending Barcelona through on away goals. Chaos erupted. Furious Chelsea players surrounded the referee, and a furious Drogba shouted into the cameras, "As strongest official you can." The controversy was so huge that years later, Øvrebø admitted he had to change hotels that night and even received death threats. While he later acknowledged making mistakes, he never clarified whether they were simply human errors or something more. Were these mistakes just coincidences, or was Barcelona given a helping hand on their way to the title? Now, what if I told you a player scored an illegal goal, tricked the referee, and is still considered a genius for it? Few moments in football history are as iconic as Diego Maradona's infamous handball goal against England in the quarterfinals of the 1986 World Cup. In the 51st minute, he used his hand to punch the ball into the net. fooling Tunisian referee Ali bin Nasser. To avoid any suspicion, Maradona sprinted off to celebrate, urging his teammates to join him and distract the officials. The moment became known as La Mano de Dios. But was it just a referee's mistake? Some believe the officials turned a blind eye on purpose, as a symbolic act of revenge against the English. If a refereeing mistake can award a goal, it can also take one away. And in 1978, that's exactly what happened. Can you imagine scoring a goal, only for the referee to end the match before the ball even crosses the line? That's exactly what happened to Brazil against Sweden that year. With just seconds remaining, Brazil won a corner kick. The match was tied at 1-1, and this was their last chance to secure the win. Nelinho delivered a perfect cross, and Zico rose unmarked to head the ball into the net.
Nelinho's kick is a good one. It's brilliantly put in.
It was the winning goal, or at least it should have been. At the exact moment Zico made contact with the ball, the Welsh referee Clive Thomas blew the final whistle, disallowing the goal. The Brazilian players immediately surrounded him, outraged by the decision. After all, the ball was already in play when he decided to end the match. The incident caused outrage in Brazil and became one of the most controversial moments in World Cup history. Even without that victory, the Seleção advanced to the next stage, but the disallowed goal remains one of the biggest injustices ever seen in a World Cup. But no referee in history has gone this far. After ruining a team's World Cup dreams, he ended up in prison. That was the case with Byron Moreno, the man behind one of the biggest refereeing scandals in World Cup history. Italy faced South Korea, and despite controlling the game, it seemed like they were up against two opponents, the South Koreans and the referee. Moreno's controversial performance started when he disallowed a perfectly legal Italian goal for an imaginary offside. But that was only the beginning. In extra time, Francesco Totti was brought down inside the box in a clear penalty incident.
He's going to book Totti and indeed, the Korean got the ball.
Instead of awarding the spot kick, Moreno booked Totti for diving and sent him off. Moments later, Damiano Tomasi scored what should have been Italy's golden goal, only for it to be ruled out again without any explanation. Meanwhile, South Korean players were getting away with brutal fouls, but Moreno ignored them and let the game continue. Then, in the 117th minute, An Jung-hwan scored South Korea's winner.
Oh, with the cross. Yes! And it's the man who missed the penalty who scores the win.
Sending them through and leaving Italy furious. The officiating was so disastrous that Italian commentator Bruno Pizzol described it as a daylight robbery. FIFA suspended Moreno shortly after, but his reputation was already ruined. And then came the final blow. In 2010, he was arrested at JFK Airport in New York for trying to smuggle 6 kilograms of heroin hidden in his underwear. The news spread worldwide, and Gianluigi Buffon, who played in that infamous match, reacted with a legendary comment. I think Moreno already had those 6 kilograms in 2002, but inside him, some refereeing decisions leave room for debate. Others completely defy logic. That's what happened in the 2005 Champions League semi-final between Liverpool and Chelsea, when a goal that no one saw decided the match. Early in the game, Luis Garcia took a shot, and Chelsea's defender cleared the ball right near the goal line.
See, Luis Garcia's in there. Does that cross the line? The Liverpool fans think it has goal.
The problem? No one could say for sure if the ball had actually crossed the line. With no goal line technology to review the incident, the referee awarded the goal, giving Liverpool the lead. A furious Jose Mourinho mocked the decision, saying that goal came from the moon, and claiming that not even Garcia himself knew if the ball had gone in. Chelsea were eliminated, and Liverpool went on to win the final in one of the most dramatic comebacks in football history. Years later, scientists analyzed the footage and concluded that the goal shouldn't have been given. But was it just a mistake, or did the referee make a decision without being 100% sure? But ghost goals didn't start in 2005. In fact, one of them decided a World Cup final. That's how England won their first, and so far only, World Cup title in 1966. At Wembley Stadium, in front of 96,000 fans and Queen Elizabeth II, England and West Germany were locked in a 2-2 draw in extra time when Jeff Hurst produced one of the most controversial moments in football history. In the 101st minute, he turned inside the box and fired a powerful shot. The ball crashed off the crossbar, bounced on the ground, and came back into play.
Right-hand side, crossed into the box, Hurst, terrible first touch, shoots off the bar and out, and cleared away for a corner kick.
The English players celebrated, the Germans protested, Swiss referee Gottfried Dienst hesitated and consulted Azerbaijani linesman Tofik Baramov, who confirmed the goal.
Ah, he's given a goal! I don't believe it!
But to this day, the footage has never definitively proven whether the ball actually crossed the line. Without that goal, the game could have gone to penalties, but England scored again in the final minute and secured the trophy. Refereeing mistake or home advantage? The mystery remains unsolved. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to leave a like. Some fouls are violent, others are criminal, and what Harald Schumacher did in the 1982 World Cup semi-final against France was nothing short of an assault. Patrick Battiston ran onto a through ball and was about to shoot when, out of nowhere, he was flattened on the head by the German goalkeeper. The impact was devastating. Battiston was knocked unconscious, lost teeth, fractured ribs, and suffered a serious spinal injury. The stadium fell silent in shock. French players frantically called for medical assistance, while Schumacher casually waited to take a goal kick. The referee? Nothing. No foul, no card. West Germany went on to win on penalties and reach the final. But this moment turned Schumacher into a villain and left a dark stain on football history. Was it just an awful refereeing mistake, or proof of how far a team will go to win? These were some of the biggest refereeing scandals in football history. But what about you? Do you remember any shocking mistakes that should have been included? Drop your thoughts in the comments.